Hello, everybody. A very busy day for me as I am with family, I am jet lagged, and I am figuring out the end of year stock sales. Tough decisions right now with this really, in my view, unexpected drop over so many growth stocks in the past 3 months. Tough decision as to which stock to cut, which stock to keep. But to me, at the end of a year, it's always very important to create these losses and to minimize your tax bill. And of course, I may sell some stocks that I actually like and buy them back in February 1st and take the risk because that's worth it at the end of the day. If you can take a loss and reduce your tax liability and then you wait 30 days, you don't want to trigger the wash sale rule, so you wait 30 days and you buy it back. So that's why today, quick video, I want to talk about GLP stocks. I want to talk mostly about HIMS and LifeMD, but we're going to talk a little bit about Novo and Lilly, tell you what I think about those in the same vein. I'm calling those GLP stocks, but on this channel, I don't consider HIMS to be a GLP stock. I don't consider LifeMD to be a GLP stock, but if you look at all of the buzz online, all of the buzz on X, every single influencer still amalgams both companies with GLP, saying it's all a GLP play. I don't think HIMS is a GLP play at all. But anyways, that's what they all say. If you look at HIMS and LifeMD, they do much more than GLP. They sell tons of things like anxiety medication, ED, primary care, dermatology, anxiety. I already said that. But they do a bunch of stuff, LifeMD has a very developed primary care business. They both have a big ED business. LifeMD has a RexMD, which is like a mini competitor of HIMS. They got a lot of stuff going on, not just GLP. But for some reason, the market makes it easier for them and it's understanding them as GLP company. And I don't know why. I think it's ridiculous. It's the trend of the moment. And depending on the mood of GLP, they go up or down. But over the long run, make no mistake. I've gone through, like HIMS. If you look at HIMS, I've owned HIMS through 3 phases of its development. When I owned it in the early days, people dismissed HIMS, saying it was just a ED company. Then they dismissed it, saying it was just a marketing company. Now they dismiss it, saying it's just a GLP-1 company. It's a much more holistic story. I've covered it in depth. But I would go as far as to say that if you look at Novo Nordisk and Lilly, they're also being dismissed by the market as just GLP-1 company, even though if you look at the portfolio of drugs of Novo and Lilly, they both have a very large diabetes business. They both have very nice insulin portfolio, and diabetes, especially type 2 diabetes, is a leading disease. So I would look at them more as diabetes companies, metabolic health companies in general, than I would just look at them as GLP-1. But the market has just painted from a broad stroke of a brush. They've said, all these stocks are GLP-1 and they trade on sentiment in the short term. Make no mistake, in the long run, they trade differently. So first I want to talk about HIMS and LifeMD. So is LifeMD a candidate for tax loss harvesting? And a key question here is, do I see LifeMD recovering from its catastrophic stock performance? Do I see it recovering before February 1st, right? Because, if LifeMD stays between the $3.50 and $4 range by February 1st, I can sell it now, take the tax loss, maybe move the little proceeds I have left into HIMS, and then maybe buy back LifeMD on February 1st, right? That's something I could do. So as you know, I own both HIMS and LifeMD, but the market doesn't understand LifeMD still. It doesn't want to make any effort trying to understand why selling Walk Simply was good. It doesn't distinguish a lot of the business. It just looks at it as a GLP-1 company. And it got excited. The stock went up quite a bit a few days ago because Novo mentioned that LifeMD could potentially be selling their new drug. We don't have a name for a new oral pill drug that they have. But anyways, oral weight loss drug, oral Wegovy, right? We don't know what it's going to be called, but Novo said, maybe LifeMD is going to say, okay, the market got crazy happy. But when I look at LifeMD, unfortunately, 24% revenue growth is not that exciting to me. The growth is slower and they accept health insurance. And I consider the fact that LifeMD grows more slowly to be directly linked to the fact that they accept health insurance. In many, many ways, people sometimes come at HIMS and they say, HIMS competes with Amazon. No, HIMS doesn't compete with Amazon because they don't take insurance at all. They bundle the cost of a doctor visit with the pills. LifeMD, on the other hand, they compete more with Amazon, don't they? Because they try to use your insurance benefits. They try to have to pay. They try to have you pay for a doctor subscription with their monthly fee for a direct doctor subscription. So LifeMD, in my view, closely matches and competes with Amazon rather than HIMS. HIMS is kind of in the blue ocean. HIMS has created a whole universe for itself, which is the whole idea of, like I always say, the e-doctor plus the e-pharmacy minus insurance, and then plus AI if you want to add it. So anyways, HIMS, let's talk about HIMS. As you know, I keep saying this on the channel, I cannot possibly understand how HIMS is trading at $33 right now. I can't get it. I can't understand it, especially after that Q3. That Q3 surprised everyone. I would have been happy with revenue quarter over quarter flat in Q3. They didn't have that. It went right back to growth. And so I have no idea why the market hates HIMS right now. Absolutely no idea. A key question for me today and tomorrow is, do I swap LifeMD into HIMS? And I'll let you know this decision when I make it. I haven't made it yet. It's a tough one. It's a tough decision. But in my view, LifeMD, if I sell it in 30 days, will it be back at $6? I doubt it. So if I sell LifeMD, I can get back in LifeMD and still take the loss as long as I wait 30 days. And of course, that depends on your tax code, right? Depending on your country, you can just sell a bunch of stock right now and buy them right back on January 2nd, and you're good, depending on some country. But in the US, you can't do that because of wash sell rule. So at the end of the year, again, this is always these big questions. Moving on to two other stocks. So I've spoken positively of Novo on this channel. I still think Novo is pretty cheap. I mean, if you look at the 3-year chart, the stock has been, divided by 3. So I think Novo is pretty cheap. Revenue growth forward, revenue growth is 16%. Again, not that exciting for me, but the company is an enormous company. They have 50 billion in revenue, so it's understandable they grow a little faster, but it's not that exciting for me. But what's very exciting, of course, is the EBITDA margin of both Novo and Lilly. We're talking about 50% EBITDA margin, so they're printing cash, essentially. Rule of 40 is very, very high at 68 and 79 respectively. HIMS, by the way, has a very high rule of 40. So in my view, compared to Novo or Lilly, and even LifeMD, I prefer HIMS. HIMS to me is the winner out of the whole, the market, quote-unquote, GLP-1 purveyors as perceived by the market. HIMS is the winner, like all category winner in my view. But Novo, I find more of a value play than Lilly. And also, the big question about the technology is perhaps Novo is so expensive because it is a U.S. company and there's a premium for U.S. companies that you don't necessarily find for European companies. There's a premium for a U.S. company, right? So Lilly has had a very good run. And yes, tirzepatide is a dual action mode. Tirzepatide is a better product than semaglutide. You're talking about 15% versus 20% weight loss. But the question is that, is this a classic case of what I call bad pizza? Still pretty good. Is this a case of that? It's like, yeah, tirzepatide is better technically, but do you need tirzepatide? Wouldn't semaglutide be enough? And sure enough, for a lot of people with, kind of like a BMI slightly high, like for slightly overweight people, semaglutide is most likely just fine. And so bad pizza is still pretty good. It's kind of like the case of Novo versus Lilly in my view. Yeah, Lilly has absolutely the best product, but that doesn't mean semaglutide is bad. Actually, semaglutide is good on its own too. And, Lilly is much more expensive. So that's my problem. Let's not forget that Novo has catalysts too. I can think of 2 catalysts that I find for Novo. And we know Lilly is working on retatrutide. Lilly has its own catalyst too, an even more effective drug. GLP maybe coming for Lilly. But Novo, they have good catalysts. So one of them I'm, kind of neutral on, but it's the arrival of a Wegovy pill in the United States, in the USA. Of course, weight loss pills already exist. Metformin ones sold by LifeMD and HIMS are big ones. But I can't remember that one. There's another one that's mainstream that exists. So that's already a thing. So minor catalyst, I like it. It's good, but it's not the biggest catalyst. And you see the stock went up a little bit, but not that much. To me, the bigger catalyst is Novo's launch in India of their weight loss solution. They're launching Ozempic in India. And I was reading statistics, something like 80 or 90 million people in India may actually get on a GLP-1. And Novo broke into this market, very tough market to get in. So what if there's 20 million Indians taking Ozempic at some point. Like, think about how huge of a market that could be. So Novo has a big shot, has a lot of markets internationally, and I like that very much. I think it's a tailwind for the company. Unfortunately, revenue growth 16% is not enough for me. Valuation 0.28 is too high for me, especially when I have HIMS 3 times cheaper for a roughly equal rule of 40. But I am a growth snob. Not everybody's a growth snob. Some people like a little stability. Well, you can't really say Novo has provided stability to any portfolio, but some people like bigger companies for some reason and think it's safer. But to me, unfortunately, whether it's Novo or Lilly, but especially Novo grows too slow. Novo grows too slow. Lilly's too expensive. LifeMD, I generally love the valuation. LifeMD to me is all about valuation. I don't like LifeMD as much as HIMS, but it's 3 times cheaper than HIMS. I don't like it as much as HIMS, but it's 3 times cheaper. And to me, HIMS is kind of like the sweet spot. In all of the GLP plays, HIMS is the sweet spot. So right now, all of these stocks, they're unloved. But HIMS especially is too cheap, and I'll make a decision between HIMS and LifeMD what to do with baby HIMS. Whatever I do with baby HIMS, I'm still interested in the stock. Anyways, this was not investment advice. This is not financial advice. This is only entertainment. I'm hoping you were entertained. Please like, please subscribe, follow me on Patreon, follow me on X. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.